LUBY'S Massacre, 1991. The deadliest mass shooting in American history, at the time ***. Scene 1, cold open, midnight to 1 o'clock. Visuals: slow aerial shots of Killeen, Texas. Quiet streets. Old photographs fade in and out. Soft, ominous music builds. Narrator: calm, grave. On October 16, 1991, an ordinary Wednesday in Central Texas turned into a nightmare that would forever change American history. In just 15 minutes, a lone gunman would shatter dozens of families, scar an entire community, and expose terrifying gaps in public safety. This is the story of the LUBY'S Cafeteria massacre. Scene 2, Killeen, Texas, before the tragedy, 1 to 2:30. Visuals: archival footage of Killeen in the early 1990s. Family shopping. Soldiers at Fort Hood. Narrator: Killeen, Texas, was a modest military town anchored by Fort Hood, one of the largest Army bases in the world. It was a place of families, veterans, and working-class Americans, a town accustomed to discipline, order, and routine. LUBY'S Cafeteria was a local favorite. Affordable food. A familiar routine. A place where seniors gathered, families met, and lunch felt safe. No one inside that restaurant could have imagined what was about to happen. The gunman, George Pierre Hennard, 2:30 to 4:30. Visuals: black and white photos of George Hennard. Slow zooms. Empty rooms. Narrator: the man responsible was George Pierre Hennard, age 35. An unemployed former merchant marine living in Belton, Texas, just minutes from Killeen. Neighbors described him as reclusive, angry, and deeply bitter. He struggled with employment, relationships, and an intense hatred toward women and minorities. Authorities later found misogynistic writings and racist ideologies among his belongings. But despite these warning signs, Hennard had no criminal record that would have stopped him from legally owning firearms. He was invisible to the system until it was too late. The attack begins 6 to 8 o'clock. Visuals: reenactment-style visuals. Sudden crash sound. Slow motion glass shattering. Narrator: lower, intense. At 12:39 p.m., Hennard drove his truck directly through the front window of the restaurant. Without hesitation, he exited the vehicle and opened fire. Witnesses later recalled him shouting, "This is what Bell County has done to me!" He began targeting women, moving methodically, reloading calmly, shooting at close range. Panic erupted. Screams. People diving under tables. There was nowhere to run. The attack begins 6 to 8 o'clock. Visuals: reenactment-style visuals. Sudden crash sound. Slow motion glass shattering. Narrator: lower, intense. At 12:39 p.m., Hennard drove his truck directly through the front window of the restaurant. Without hesitation, he exited the vehicle and opened fire. Witnesses later recalled him shouting, "This is what Bell County has done to me!" He began targeting women, moving methodically, reloading calmly, shooting at close range. Panic erupted. Screams. People diving under tables. There was nowhere to run. Inside the horror, 8 to 11 o'clock. Visuals: darkened reenactments. Empty chairs. Blood-stained floors, implied, not graphic. Narrator: Hennard moved through the cafeteria with chilling focus. He shot parents in front of their children. Friends watched helplessly as loved ones were killed beside them. Susanna Grazia survived by hiding beneath a table, but her parents did not. In total, 23 people were murdered, and 27 others were wounded. Many victims were elderly. Several were veterans who had survived war, only to die during lunch. Police response: 11 to 1300 hours. Visuals: police cars, officers running, sirens blaring. Narrator: police arrive within minutes. Officer Ken Olsen was among the first on scene. He exchanged gunfire with Hennard as bullets tore through walls and windows. Cornered, wounded, and facing officers closing in, George Hennard turned one of his guns on himself. The massacre ended as suddenly as it began. 15 minutes. 23 lives gone. Unanswered questions. Why? 15 to 1630. Visuals: police evidence photos, empty notebooks. Narrator: investigators searched desperately for motive. Hennard left no manifesto, no suicide note. Only fragments: hatred, resentment, and untreated mental illness. Authorities concluded that he acted alone, driven by rage and alienation. But for many, that explanation felt painfully insufficient. Prevention and lessons, 18 to 1930. Visuals: community vigils, police training, mental health facilities. Narrator: the LUBY'S Massacre teaches us painful lessons. Warning signs of violent ideation must be taken seriously. Mental health support must be accessible. Emergency response training saves lives. Communities must balance rights with responsibility. There is no single solution, but ignoring the problem ensures repetition. Closing reflection, 1930 to 2000 hours. Visuals: names of victims fade onto the screen. Candlelight. Narrator: soft, solemn. 23 people went out for lunch and never came home. They were mothers, fathers, friends, veterans. They were not statistics. They were lives, stolen in minutes, remembered forever. If you or someone you know is struggling with rage, isolation, or violent thoughts, seek help. Tragedy doesn't begin with bullets. It begins when warning signs are ignored. Subscribe to this channel on True Crime Echoes for news around the globe.